And we want to thank our studio audience for joining us today on Delmarva Life. To find out how you can become a member of our studio audience, visit delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab, or you can call that number on your screen. It's 443-880-9160.
And honest to goodness, if you have ever wondered why in the world would you want to do that, I dare you to talk to a couple of people that have already come in and joined us.
You gotta come in and find out.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun that you don't get to see on TV. Scott Pelley, no stranger to CBS News. He has worked there for more than 2 decades, and now he is the anchor of the CBS Evening News, a role that he actually took over less than a year ago.
Yeah, and he is one of my favorites. So who is Scott Pelley? Delmarva Life's Brian Spiros traveled to New York City to sit down with Evening News anchor to talk family, career, and more. Take a look.
Tonight, America on alert.
Scott Pelley. He's the anchor of the CBS Evening News and has become a familiar face in millions of homes.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening.
He took over the broadcast less than a year ago after Katie Couric stepped down.
So glad you're here.
Delmarva Life traveled to New York City to interview Pelley to find out more about who he is. What I thought was going to be a casual interview in the newsroom became much more. I suddenly found myself on the anchor desk of the CBS Evening News. And me, Brian Spiros, was the one taking the lead. If only my journalism teachers could see me now.
You took the reins over last June.
That's right.
It was.
A little over 10 months now.
What has it been like? Explain to me what it's been like in that 10 months.
Oh boy, you know, it feels like 10 weeks. I can't believe that we're coming up on the first anniversary. I can't even believe I'm saying that. It really feels like 10 weeks. It has been a blur, but a wonderful experience to work with all the great men and women of CBS News all around the world. I have just been so impressed with their talent, their abilities, their courage in so many places in the world. It's just been a joy for me.
Pelley spends 11 hours a day at the CBS studios on Manhattan's Upper West Side. That time is spent preparing for the evening's 30-minute broadcast.
We all know you as this journalist, serious journalist. What is something interesting about you that people may not even know?
Getting fit is important to me, and so I have a gym upstairs. And so every day, about the middle of the day, I go up to the gym and blow off steam for about an hour or so. And I've got a shower, I get cleaned up, and I come back to work. So that's one thing that I don't think anybody's aware of.
Probably not. I was going to ask you, you know, for those of us in TV, we know this can be very stressful. And I was going to say, how do you unwind or de-stress? And that would probably be one of the ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I go upstairs and run 3 miles.
The other thing, too, what do you do in your spare time? You know, on the weekends when you're not working? What is that like?
Well, I have a son in college, but I have a daughter who's still at home. She's going to turn 17 next week. So she keeps me going, and we have a lot of fun together, my daughter and my wife and I. We try to spend some time on the water on Long Island Sound. We like to sail and really enjoy sailing, but there's not a lot of time for that these days. A lot of weekends this last year, I've been running around the world shooting stories for 60 Minutes. So now that we're getting into the summer, things are beginning to relax a little bit. We're going to get out on the water some more, and my wife and I just are having a great time up in Connecticut where we live.
Pelley has been with CBS since 1989. He's traveled the world reporting the news and has received a lot of recognition. So what's his biggest accomplishment?
I grew up under pretty modest circumstances out in West Texas. I have no business being here, but somehow over the course of the years, working hard and catching a lot of breaks, I ended up in this chair, and that has to be the pinnacle of my career.
And getting to where he is today was not always easy, but it's made Scott Pelley appreciate it all that much more.
The best lesson that I've learned over the course of my life is don't take no for an answer. CBS turned me down 5 times in a row when I tried to get a job here back in the late 80s.
I think people probably don't even realize.
5 times in a row over 5 years.
Wow.
And I decided that they were wrong. I wasn't wrong, they were wrong. And so I beat my head against the side of this building for 5 years, and finally they just gave up, threw in the towel, and hired me. And it's been a joyful ride ever since for me. But especially to young people, especially to people who are interested in this wonderful line of work that we're in, don't take no for an answer.
Very good advice. Don't take no for an answer.
How remarkable is that?
So when we ask for a gym to work out here on Delmarva Life,
don't take no for an answer.
Don't take no for an answer. Is that pretty much what we learned?
Good
awesome
idea.
Guy.
He's a neat guy.
He is.
I guess, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think a lot of times when you see news anchors, it's almost like they have to put up a front, they have to put up a facade. This is it, straight business, hard news.
Yeah.
And you wonder if you really ever get to know them.
Right.
And he really seems like a nice guy.
And I think he comes off on that. I mean, he gives the news, but yet he has a personal commentary, very slight, but I like him. Yeah.
Good stuff. Scott Pelley.
Easy to listen to.
You can catch him right here on WBOC. Well, still to come on Delmarva Life, how you can take part in one of the longest running parties in the state of Delaware.
Interesting. And next, dressed up bras, and they're all supporting one cause. More about the Bras for a Cause campaign, how you can support it, and where you can see these bras up close. Delmarva Life, life at its best here on Delmarva.